Well, good evening, everybody. Or good early morning, in a way. We are here doing a kind of nowcast, so to speak. Because the winter storm is here, and I figured I'd come on here because there are two different radars that I use that are saying two different things. And I kind of want to explain what is going on. But first, I want to come over here. Go ahead and launch our camera feed. That will show us more in-depth details. Yeah, it's definitely looking like it's more in the terms of snow. Okay, we'll put that over there. Because I want to use the camera feed. Okay. I don't need that. Well, actually, that's a lie. I do need that. I don't need Restream open, though. My chair keeps sliding backwards. Okay, there we go. That works. Let's see. Okay, yep, this will work. Let me zoom it back outwards a little bit, though. Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay, that works. Okay, so we will minimize this. Let me open up WeatherEye. Oh, let me turn this. So WeatherEye is our in-house radar tool. But I think it's showing some false information, though. But we will show that right now. How about that? So let's go ahead and do that. I hit the button. And our outputs. Oh, there it goes. It's showing the weather camera. Why is the weather camera active? Did this a few days ago. Hang on. Let me find my... There it is. Okay. So, we are looking at WeatherEye. Which, then I'm going to jump back. So, if you look... Oh, shoot. If you look, so this purple color right in here, that's indicating that sleet is actively falling. And then this like Oops. Let's get out of that. There we go. I like this, like red, pink, purple stuff from within. This boundary. That's indicating that freezing rain. So, but if we look at the weather camera, let's bring that up. Well, I don't know. Do I first want to show the weather camera before I show this other radar? Or do I want to? Decisions. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do the weather camera. So this is This is the live view outside. As you can tell, it looks more snow than it does sleet or freezing rain. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I'm gonna do something a little fancy dancy. Hear a plow somewhere. Anyway, so here's another radar view. Okay, you following along with me? Okay, good. Then we'll actually take a look at some of the forecast models. But what I'm gonna do, let's do that color. Okay. So as you can see from points south here to all points north in our region, this radar shows it's falling all as snow, which is well more believable. Because if we look out at the WeatherEye camera, you can see. Dang, I should have showed the radar. That's radar first before the weather camera. Anyway, I was going to show you what's happening. There was no sleet falling at that point. But if we look at the weather camera now, you can see it is falling as all snow. So, and coming back to this radar, we got some heavier snow bands. It's like Parkersburg. I think this is all falling as heavy snow. But this dark blue, right in through here, yeah, Philippi, that's lifting up. Your direction. So, which means let me actually check some of the weather observations on my phone's weather app once. So we're currently sitting at 23 degrees because it just changed to 23.9. With heavy snow falling, according to that. But I want to look at. Oh, I see what it's doing. Yeah, see? Exactly what that radar shows. Parkersburg has heavy snow. Let's see another spot. Ooh. Charleston. Because if you look, this thing has Charleston. Let me kill WeatherEye for a minute, because WeatherEye is kind of making the... Yeah, so if you see, Charleston is placed as all snow. So let's look up Charleston. Okay. Yeah. Wow, for the first time, Apple Weather's app is on point, because it's showing it as that mixture. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. Let's look at this spot. Let me look. Yep. Heavy snow. But this city right here, this wintry mix is knocking right on the door. What about Sutton? Oh, okay. Let's look at Flatwoods. I've been to Flatwoods a handful of times. Heavy snow. Yep. Okay. Now within those heavier snow bands, you could see probably a good inch or two per hour. Let's actually look up. Because the Storm Protection Center has been issuing Mesoscale discussions on this stuff in this winter storm. I want to see if there's any currently active. There is. Yes. This one's actually issued 56 minutes ago. Yeah, okay, you can see that. Let me. Yeah, by the way, I'm using this software called Epic Pen to illustrate things now. Just make things a little bit more convenient. So, you can see that. Why is it? Because I've selected highlighter. That's why. That's why my yellow is not bold. But the outskirts of Harrison and Philippi, you're included in this, and all of Marion, Audubon, and Gilead counties. I'm just focusing more in our neck of the woods. So, Preston, Tucker, Barber, including Philippi, Harrison, I think this is even including Clarksburg, Marion, and Monongalia counties. The Storm Protection Center says that heavy snowfall with rates around 1 inch per hour will be possible this morning. And that's not looking like snow because they're using more reflectivity than precipitation-based maps. Oops. Why is it compared to what this shows? But looking at this looking at this radar, I kind of believe that. Let me get rid of that little dot. And if we see here on radar, or WeatherEye, that's holding out true. What the heck? So let's actually look up the National Weather Service once. Yeah, by the way, you can still see that we still have a heckin' ton of winter storm alerts. I'm just going to pull this up. I'm curious. Yeah. Okay. But it's definitely not looking like what weather-wise has going on. I'll bring that back up. See, it is definitely, hands down, not falling. Bro. I'm trying to do something. Like, it is definitely not falling as sleet. Not even remotely. So I am questioning that terminology. Sorry, I'm checking something else. Off camera, second. Okay. Just checking to see if any other churches decided to cancel services. So far, not from what I've seen. So, okay. Let's get... So yeah, we're still closely monitoring these heavier snow bands. I wonder if we can get a look. Got some of the traffic cameras across. Dude, why am I actively using WeatherEye? I'm gonna have it closed because it. Wow, you can't even see out that camera. Yeah. Okay, look at this. Route 50. It's still considered a state road. It is in bad shape. Let's take a peek. Yeah, that's in. Let's look at some Western cameras. Even I-69. I-69. I-79 at US 33. That's in rough shape. So yeah, travel is definitely not recommended. So, if I were you, I would cancel any plans you might have just for safety precautions. We are under state of emergency to avoid unnecessary travel. Let's actually start getting a peek. Here at Mon Power for, see, there's already starting to be power outages being reported. I don't see how there would be yet. There's only 49 out in the state, which is down towards, I think, Nicholas County. Nicholas and Webster, yeah. 45 in Nicholas. I think. 4 in Webster County. So there's not lots yet. But I guarantee this is probably going to change throughout the day today. And why? That's once we finally see this warm convective layer start to win out. Because eventually it will win out. In fact, let's come ahead and look. So I've been liking the GFS model with this whole system so far. When I'm loading that up, you can get a look outside at our weather camera. Let's see. Okay. Actually, I don't like this. Because this GFS model is actually agreeing with, weather-wise. And it's not doing this right now. This one's even worse. What about this one? Maybe we won't look at the models because they're even worse. Yeah, the models are even worse. So we'll just skip that. Let's actually refresh this page. I want to actually get a look. At what's going on up here. Yeah, just see what Charles. Okay, it's just saying that that's fog. What about over here towards Parkersburg? Snow and freezing fog. Charleston, we already know, is falling as freezing rain. Yep. So the question then becomes, when will this warm convective layer, this warm wedge, start taking over? At this point, we don't know. Because all the forecast models are showing different things that this radar image is not showing. So I don't know. What we could do is see if this has forecast radar. It does. Cool. Okay. Yeah. This seems a little bit more. Well, that's 120. Let's. That pretty much shows what some of these models are indicating. Let's see what this shows for snowfall. Yeah, I'm not really buying that. Okay. Future radar, 1 hour. What is that? Okay, let's look at this. So for the next hour, according to this radar, it's going to still be very heavy snow for parts of the region. But if you notice, though, the all right, that didn't do much. Sorry, I'm just looking at something off screen again. Getting a live look outside again, real quick. So the 4 cross lanes on I-64 eastbound is ice. Right before the cross lanes exit. I'm seeing that report from Facebook. I don't know how, because that's from a group I'm not even part of. So how is that even possible? Yeah, we've got plow drivers out and about. I mean, I'm not mad that it's still snowing. I'd rather take the snow over the ice, but, you know. Eventually, the ice is going to win out. So this is still like that Mesoscale discussion from the Storm Protection Center. Yeah, down south towards very southern Alabama, or yeah, Alabama, Georgia, parts of Florida could see seeing a slight risk for severe weather today. What a turn of events. So far for the edited version, we are at like 35 minutes, so I don't think I'm going to keep you guys too much longer. Because I mainly wanted to pop one here to kind of explain this situation that some weather apps, radars are. So this is. So within this zone right here is the ice. This is heavy snow in this boundary. This boundary is kind of like light to moderate snow. Definitely not. So I'm gonna close out most of my stuff. But I'm going to bring back up weather-wise for a moment. Oh, shoot. Why does it only glitch it on this monitor for some reason? I wonder if my port thing's going bad. Cause yeah, it only glitches it on this second of my. Cause over here, where's my cursor? Hey. So what I could do. Is do this. Let's do this. Now move this. I'm gonna troubleshoot that. It's because that should not be doing that. So what we're going to do is switch it over to the screen. And I'll move the mic over here. So here's a live view of our in-house tool. Yeah, for some reason it works better using this monitor. I don't know why. I'm gonna troubleshoot that and figure out what's going on with that. So like they have good healthy dose of snow from Clarksburg, all points north. Let me... Oops. Try and go to just regular radar source. Yeah, see, literally the same exact thing. They are showing this more in the terms of... This is showing it more as freezing rain towards Philippi. That's what this one shows, too. So it looks like the radar has had an update. And this purple, all this purple here is sleet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can change color palettes. Let's see what that does. Because this is so not accurate. Oh, what do you know? I gotta upload my... Let me see if I have that handy. I don't know if I do. I could probably search it. Ah, I do have it. Cool. So it's showing... Let's switch to the composite. Yeah, it's showing it now, changing over. But we saw the other radar view. This highly seems unlikely that this is what's actually going on. Because if we look again at the weather camera, well, it doesn't look like it's actively doing anything now. I mean, if it is, it's hard to see it from the camera perspective. But it definitely does not look like freezing rain or sleet falling quite yet. So, that one doesn't seem too highly likely. If you catch my drift. So, I think that this is pretty much where we can just go ahead and leave it for this. I am positive I'm going to take it like 2-3 hour power nap. But then I'm sure we'll be on later on this afternoon giving a perspective of when we make that transition here in Philippi over to that freezing rain threat from the snow. It's going to happen at some point. But then the question becomes, when? When's that going to happen? And how much freezing rain will we be expecting? So we'll break all that down later on today. So, just wanted to prepare yourself for that. That's all gonna be coming down the pike here later on today at some point. So, you have a fantastic, good rest of your morning. And if I were you, I would just stay off the area. Just stay out. Just stay off the roads today completely, if at all. If well, just stay off the roads, because if it's not necessary, don't be out on them. That's the bottom line to that. So, anyway, you all have a fantastic, pleasant, good rest of your morning. We will chat again later, my friends. Have a good rest of your day.